Good evening to all the enlightened beings, I would say, and I welcome you all to this platform again in School of Happiness. In the last session, we discussed about freedom values with our respected resource person, Dr. T.K. Mishra. And from that, we have inferred a lot of things that no amount of external regulation can ensure personal freedom and security until and unless we imbibe that freedom values in our life or make it a part of our life. So, in this session, we would like to dive deep into those freedom values. Coming on from the last session, the F in the freedom value stands for fearlessness. So, I would like to start our session by asking you a question, sir. That when is the time that people are fearful? We have seen in our lives that someone has the fear of losing someone, fear of different things in our life, fear of career, relationships. So, when is that time when people get that fear? And how can we overcome that fear in order to become happier or achieve that happiness in our life? क्योंकि डर ही एक ऐसी चीज है जो हमें रोकती है, कभी करियर में, कभी रिलेशनशिप में, कभी हेल्थ में, इनफैक्ट गोइंग टू अ जिम, कभी उसमें भी डर होता है लोगों का. सो हम सब डर को ओवरकम करके आगे कैसे बढ़ सकते हैं जिंदगी में? प्लीज सर, यू मे थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन दिस टॉपिक.
Well, Shreya, thank you very much. Let me begin with a compliment for you that I see all those good qualities of a good student in you.
Thank you.
And you're so sensitive with all these things. That gives a lot of satisfaction to any teacher. Well, the first point, very rightly said, that how one gets fearful of one thing. And the next question you asked is that how to overcome that fear. Because unless you are fearless, you cannot be happy. Okay, this is very clear to all. And in the last session also, I have discussed all those things. But the problem is we must know that what causes fear. Why are we afraid of certain things? Well, number one, weaknesses. Whether it is physical weakness, moral weakness, okay, emotional weakness. If you are weak from inside, obviously we will be fearful of someone who is stronger than us. So the first thing is that we have to overcome our own internal weaknesses. And weaknesses can be of several types. It can be moral, emotional, physical. A mightier person comes before you, obviously you are going to have fear that the first person is going to kill you. So this is the first thing, that you have to overcome your inner weaknesses. Then another thing is that, animal instinct. You will find all animals afraid of human beings, whether it is dog or even snakes, etc., tiger also. So if you have that kind of instinct in you, that you are fearful of human beings, okay, you don't have trust on them, and rather in Corona times, what happened? That we used to be fearful of human being itself. So surprising thing. We used to run away when we used to see a crowd or a gathering of people. So this is one thing that you have to make sure that you are not having animal instinct. You have human instinct, and humans do not get afraid of human beings. They are the fellow human beings, fellow mankind. Why should you be afraid? So make sure that you have all the features of a good human being. This is the second. And the third is, lack of knowledge. A student is fearful of exam because he has not studied well. He doesn't know anything. Okay. So if you have lack of knowledge, that is one source of, if I tell you to drive a car. You don't know how to drive. Fly a plane. I mean, obviously you will be fearful because you don't know how to fly a plane. Okay. So this is another thing. Then another thing is, lack of training, emotional training, like military people. They are trained in such a manner that, on the war field, they face the opponents very courageously. Okay, they are given such a kind of training. So that emotional training, if you don't have, then obviously you'll be fearful. Okay, and then sometimes guilt consciousness. If you feel guilty about doing something, then you have jumped a red light. Obviously, you will be fearful of being challenged by a police. You will always see that whether a police person was seeing you or not. Okay, you will be afraid if you see a police person because you have jumped a red light. Okay, so guilt of various kinds. I don't want to expand on that. You people are only learned people. You can find 100 examples of guilt consciousness that makes you fear. And then, a sense of insecurity. Insecurity. Husband or wife is insecure about husband. He कब छोड़ के चला जाएगा, I don't know. Then obviously, how can you have happy relationship, cordial relationship with the husband if you all the time you are insecure, feeling insecure? Okay, so that insecurity between the two is a cause of fear. Okay, you cannot move in the night or anywhere because you feel that you are insecure. Anyone can do any harm to you. So that is one. And then another is lack of trust. If you don't trust people, you will be afraid. I mean, if you don't trust humanity, then obviously you will always be unhappy that anyone can damage you or can do any harm to you. So this is another thing. And finally, I must say that dishonesty, that also generates fear in your mind. Okay, if you have grabbed some money in a dishonest way, then obviously you will always be afraid of your master. That any moment he can catch you. And very rightly, Shreya said that, I mean, we need to overcome that. And overcoming is also so simple. I mean, in my class, I generally try to give a simplistic solution to all these problems. If I say dishonesty breeds fear, then I say that you can easily understand that you have to act honestly, and any bold person, any honest person will never be fearful of even death. Okay, because he has lived a life, of honesty. So these are the things, and similarly, all those things like if you want to remove your fear, you need proper training, proper knowledge. These are all simple things. If you want to, overcome your examination fear, then you have to learn, you have to study, and obviously you will finish your paper much before the time schedule. And I think that is enough for the first letter F. That is how to become fearless, how to become courageous. So important, so vital for being happier.
Thank you, sir. आपने काफी positive doses दिए हमें about fearlessness and how to overcome that. The next word is R, which stands for responsibility. बचपन से हम जब बड़े भी होते हैं, we often have heard these things that you are not responsible enough. You should be responsible enough. जब बड़े भी होते हैं, तो भी in different phases of life, we often hear someone that you are not responsible enough in your career, in your relationship, in your job, with regard to your health. So sometimes this responsibility feels like a burden. So, but ultimately, it's the responsibility only that fulfilling that responsibility gives us happiness. So, please, we would like to know that how taking responsibility helps us in achieving those happiness.
you know, the major cause of our unhappiness is that we do not perceive things in right perspective. If you don't take responsibility, how would you learn? How would you grow? Okay. We must welcome if some responsibility is shouldered on you. I give you an example. In my classroom, if I choose one class representative, the class representative has a responsibility for the entire class. But look at the benefit of that particular boy or girl, that one learns leadership qualities, how to organize people, how to maintain discipline in the class and all these things. So he has a privilege of knowing all these things. So I mean, how can you grow? How can you have knowledge of certain things if you do not accept the responsibility? How can you administer college if you do not take the responsibility of a principal? Okay. So anywhere, even in all the walks of life, you need to accept responsibility, welcome responsibility, because it is source of your gaining knowledge and growth. And then you should also think that if you accept responsibility, then you are rewarded with respect in the society or anywhere. I mean, if you are a class representative, or other students, they think that okay, you have taken the responsibility. I mean, you will be treated differently. Okay, so I mean, even up to the level of prime minister, prime minister has accepted the responsibility of leading the nation. He gets respect from all the walks of all the quarters, everyone. So that is inherent. The respect, etc. You get as a reward. Okay, and when I told you inherent with responsibility is also power, which you enjoy. Okay, you become a CEO, responsibility of the entire company. You have power to give benefit to someone, to remove someone. Okay, that also you have source of happiness. Okay, that you can do something if you want. Okay, so and then a very important thing that you find purpose, a great purpose of life, a meaning of life. Okay, that okay, I'm a responsible citizen, I'm a responsible officer in my cadre. That gives you a different kind of high esteem. So that is one. And then, a sense of contribution. You have accepted certain responsibility. Then of course, you have a feeling that yes, I'm leading a worthy life and I'm contributing something to the society. Okay, I'm not just passing my time. All these things put together makes you a happy soul. That's
Okay, thank you, sir. The next word is E, which stands for empathy, meaning that stepping into other person's shoes. And generally in our social life, we all want that people should have that empathic feeling with ourselves. But when it comes to our own self, we face that problem in cultivating that empathy, in understanding the other person, perspective, feelings. So, sir, suggest us some ways in which we can cultivate this empathy within ourselves.
wonderful question. Well, empathy is listening someone respectfully, okay, without any expectation. That is the difference between, politeness and kindness or empathy. That in kindness or empathy, without expectation of any return, you do something and you wish for the better tomorrow of that particular person. Okay, so with that feeling, you listen to that person. Okay? And wonderful research on this particular aspect, published in psychology bulletin, social psychology bulletin, and they have found that People who understand happiness as something which is flexible, not fixed. Happiness which is controllable, cultivable. Happiness which is internal, which is something within you. Such people who take happiness in this manner, they are generally found to be empathetic. This is a great research and published in, let me recall, Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, okay, that I read somewhere. And that is what, Adam Grant, a great happiness professor, Adam Grant, he has written so many books on happiness, you can go through that. He also has the same view, and that such people are highly empathetic. Now, coming to your next question, Shreya, you said that how to cultivate empathy. Everyone likes empathy. I mean, it's a great virtue. I don't think anyone would not acknowledge that it is a great human virtue. But at the same time, the problem is how to cultivate that. Okay. Now, for that, you have to cultivate curiosity about strangers. Curiosity about strangers. What are they? I mean, what is their thinking? And the father of positive psychology, Martin Seligman, I had a chance to do a course under him. Martin Seligman says and identifies it as a key character strength, which can enhance your life satisfaction. This is what? Which can enhance your life satisfaction. So that is, you have to cultivate that. And another point, how to, wonderful question you have asked, how to, be more empathetic. You have to develop ambitious imagination. What is that? Imagination about that, a corruption-free society where there is no abuse, sexual abuse or child abuse, any immoral act is not there. Think over that. Imagination. Okay. Then perhaps, okay, for example, for climate change, okay, you can think over that how do we do that? So expansive heart, can, perhaps cultivate empathy more. Okay. And then for, having more empathy, you have to listen to someone emotional. And you have to, remove your mask and reveal your feelings to the other. So vital for creating a strong emotional bonding. These things we have to realize. Okay. And, another point that, we have to inspire mass movements, mass action. And we have to work for social change. All these, broader parameters will, cultivate empathy in you. And one more thing is that, unless you have, feelings for the others, okay, well, and there is an anomaly that you have to challenge the prejudices. There are certain prejudices. The prejudices are, and you have to discover the commonality. The prejudices are like Muslims by nature are fundamentalists. Suppose this is a notion. You have to challenge that. No, this is not, all Muslims are not like that. And you have to say, you have to discover the commonalities, which is found, the color of blood is same and things like that. You have to identify these, steps. If you take, then perhaps you would be able to become a empathetic person. You know, so yeah,
all
that's all.
these all these tells us, advocates us that how important it is for us to have an open mind and an open heart to accept things around us.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Next, E stands for eternal values. In the last session, also, we have discussed a lot on a few eternal values, a few virtues that we possess. We would like to know something more about what are these eternal values, what should we possess, and certainly not following these leads to unhappiness. So please guide us that how can we imbibe these eternal values within ourselves.
Wonderful. Well, we need to know certain values. Certain values are eternal, certain values are transitory, which changes from time to time as per the needs. But there are certain values which do not change with the time, situations, and places. Okay. For example, love, respect, all these things, from time immemorial, people have valued these things. Okay? These are great virtues. Now, in modern context, let me tell you that marriage, I give you an example. Marriage is necessary in a God's plan. It's not, voluntary. It's mandatory. I mean, every human being must marry. But look at the present generation. They take it as a great, burden on them. They don't want to take this responsibility, forgetting the very fact that two minds are better than one mind, two persons are better than one person, and the joy of being together, they are being deprived. A false notion of independence, freedom, leads them to deny, marriage at a right age. Very unfortunate. And then they will say they are having stress, they are having career problems, all those things. But they don't realize that they have defied the law of the nature. How can they be happy? So the motherhood truths and principles, which empowers a woman in a family from time immemorial, they are refusing that. Okay, in the name of going to the office, doing job, the primary and fundamental work they are denying. They're depriving their children the love of a mother and etc. I mean, why? How can they think of being happy? So marriage is one. Marriage is an institution which you are not taking it seriously. This is one. Similarly, bearing children. Okay. It is an act of high selfishness, I would say, for a married couple to refuse to have children when they are able to do so. High act of selfishness. Let us honestly examine these things, that what are we doing? And then we are thinking that why aren't we happy? You are defying the natural laws. You are depriving your parents to have the joy of playing with their grandchildren. And how are you thinking that it is a responsibility? Don't you play with a small child? Don't you enjoy the company of a small child? But I mean, you have some wrong notions about your future and you think that everything you can do yourself. not leaving anything on the destiny, on the God, you doubt the support of your parents, support of your siblings, everyone. Okay, not thinking that I can have social support, every kind of support. I don't have to worry for everything. Okay. This is one. And then we have benevolence lacking in us. I told you earlier also that Sunil Gupta, venture capitalist, US based, he was being interviewed. And then he said that on 3 parameters, within 5 minutes, we accept a proposal or reject a proposal for financing. We accept a proposal on the 3 counts, whether the boy who has come with the proposal has a sense of benevolence or not. He wants to do something good for the society. Oh, wonderful, welcome. This is the first criteria of selecting a particular project. The second is that how is he going to implement that project, ethically or not, or by hook or crook he wants to achieve a profit. Okay, this is the second. Okay, and the third thing, of course, whether he has the capability of doing that or not, whether he is qualified to do that or not. Only 3 criteria. And the first is benevolence. Second is ethical means. And third is, well, you have the requisite qualification or not. So benevolence is another. And another thing is servitude. Servitude is so important. Because, whatever you do to glorify yourself is transitory values, temporary value. Whatever you do for the society, people will remember you for that. Okay, servitude. So that makes, I have coined a word for that. That is called M is marriage, B is bearing child, and again B is benevolence, and S is servitude. With all these MBBS, you become a doctor of life. You can make people happier. You can be happy yourself also. You can counsel, and that is the purpose of our class, happiness class, that to create doctor of happiness. That's all, Shreya.
It was too much enlightening, sir. The D in the freedom value stands for dutifulness, just as we earlier discussed about responsibilities. You explained about dutifulness very well in the last class. And we live in a society, we engage with a lot of people, with our colleagues, with our friends, with our family, relatives, other helpers. So please give us some clarity that whom should we be dutiful, we be dutiful towards, that help us in creating that happiness and that sense of belongingness and self-satisfaction.
Oh, great. Shreya, time and again, I need to tell you that I'm always after finding simplistic solution. Okay. Somewhere I read that the answer can be complex, question can be complex, but answer can be simple. Dutifulness, duty towards your parents, obey them. So simple. Duty towards your students. I'm not meeting my class. Can I be happy at home? So simple. Doctors not taking care properly of the patients, extracting money. No matter how efficient doctor you are, but if you are not a good human being, okay, you are not doing duty properly, you cannot be happy. Maybe for the time being, you make money a lot. But from inside, you will never be deeply satisfied. That is for sure. Okay. So it's so simple. I mean, whatever task is given to you, whoever has taken care of you, you pay back. not a complicated issue. Okay, Shreya, you should, so Shreya, we must be dutiful towards, you know, whatever task assigned to us, whether as a teacher, as a doctor, as a lawyer, uh, and also as a human being. Okay, thank you.
So the importance of sincerity and honesty towards our own responsibilities is very well explained by you, sir.
Mm.
O stands for other oriented. In the last few sessions, we have discussed a lot on about self-love, how to love self, how to prioritize self. And then again comes the next side of the coin, which is being oriented towards others, how to think about others' welfareness. And we have to keep both these things in balance, self-love and being thinking about others' welfareness. So how being taking care of others, being welfare towards others, being nice to others helps us in achieving those happiness moments of our life. Please guide us, sir.
Mm. Great. Well, I told you earlier also when I was discussing, empathy, how to cultivate empathy. We have to cultivate curiosity about strangers, the other person. There is a world lying in the head of the other person. We should know that. Maybe you find a very good poet in that other person, a very good artist, a very good singer, a wonderful imagination, a wonderful idea. But if you don't believe in, other people, okay, that's why I told you earlier that one is values, one is self-enhancing values, always thinking about selfish acts, and another is self-transcending values, beyond self. You would not be able to, get exposure. It's something like, opening the window of your mind to get fresh air, fresh ideas, and the beauty of the nature. You must admire that. Okay. So that is another thing.
Okay, sir. Thanks, sir. The last word M, which stands for magnificence. And truly, it's like a perfume. We experience it and we radiate it also. So please throw some light that, but the problem is that we are not experiencing it enough. If we don't experience it, how can we radiate it? So throw some light on how can we experience it and measure and use it as a measure and source of happiness of in our life.
Wonderful, Shreya. Magnificence is a wonderful experience for everyone. And as you said, it is not possible for everyone to experience that particular aspect. For that, let me tell you, you have to pull down yourself from conscious level to subconscious level. When you are at conscious level, you derive happiness in gadgets, say your car, bungalow, several other things. That gives you happiness. Though they are fleeting happiness, but still you derive happiness consciously. Oh, this is my car. ये मेरी गाड़ी है. ये मेरा घर है. ये मेरा. All gadgets you get. Okay. That you derive when you are consciously. You have to recline yourself, withdraw yourself, and come down to the level of subconsciousness. Then you have the ability to read between the lines, between God and the gadgets. Okay? Between God and the globe. Earlier you would remember one of our participants, I would not like to name her. She said that, she had a wonderful experience going to European countries and things like that. Okay, she enjoyed a lot. But the true joy, if you want to have and you want to sustain that joy for you, that you will find in nature, not in the globe, not in the global touring. And even if you do touring, you should do social tourism. Okay, you meet people, you talk to people. Okay, then you get a different kind of experience, a different kind of excitement. Okay, so what I say is that for having experience of magnificence, you have to withdraw yourself, come down to the level of subconsciousness, where you have a nerve soothing effect of everything, every human being that you meet. Okay, that gives you tremendous joy. Okay, because you are not consciously thinking that what the hell this person is going to give me. Okay, so beyond those things, you meet your fellow mankind. Okay, fellow mankind, and you have lot of love and affection, and you get excitement. Okay, the fellow has come. You rejoice the company and think that this is, I mean, when you meet your friend, a true friend, a class fellow or something, you're not talking to him at a conscious level. You are talking to your boss with full consciousness. But when a friend, class friend, fellow comes, you are at the subconscious level. Okay, no formality. You are at ease. Okay, whatever is coming to your mind, you just vomiting it out. Okay? And even you are consuming every gossip of his with full joy. So that is subconscious level. Magnificence of life you can experience when you come down to that level. I think from my side, that's all.
तो सर आपने हमारे लिए आज डॉक्टर का काम किया, आपने प्रॉब्लम्स भी बताए हैं, साथ में आपने डायग्नोसिस भी किया उस प्रॉब्लम्स का, साथ में आपने रेमेडीज भी बताए. So thank you, sir. And I personally truly believe that if we imbibe and dive deep into these freedom values, it actually helps us to cherish that emotional independence in our life, that we are not dependent upon someone else, any people, any situation to make us happy. So I would like to wish a happy Independence Day to all of us, that we experience and cherish that freedom and happiness. Thank you, sir. And I would request all the participants to come to the platform if they want to share something, some experience, any suggestions that they want to.
Shreya, you have expressed great feelings. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, wonderful.
All the participants.
Any question from the participants?
You are most welcome to the platform now.
Hello.
Oh, Manisha, long time.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Good
Sir,
evening.
one question is there. I would like to ask, because we all are actually juggling now and then with the development phenomena, whether it is a
Manisha, now you are in a position to give answers. Okay.
No, sir, but we will always remain like children in front of you, in front of your experience.
No.
तो सर आपने जो इनसिक्योरिटी की बात बोली थी, तो सर इट to what extent we remain insecure, because it is a mother of the development also. Because sir अगर हम insecure नहीं रहेंगे, अगर हमें fear नहीं होगा किसी भी चीज का, like for example I can give you the financial stability. Like if I am having a very good amount of money as of now, and if I am not getting insecure for my future, then I will spend all the money on stupid useless crap things also. लेकिन वो एक इनसिक्योरिटी रहती है कि नहीं हमको उसको बचा के रखना है आगे के लिए. तो सर मुझे एक मतलब प्लीज जस्ट मतलब सर इसके ऊपर थोड़ी सी अगर आप प्रकाश डालें तो थोड़ा सा मतलब समझ में आए. मे बी आई एम रॉन्ग, माय क्वेश्चन इज रॉन्ग, बट ये मेरे दिमाग में अभी चल रहा था सर.
Oh, wonderful. I welcome your question.
Thank you, sir.
And these are the practical questions which needs to be answered. Well, in support of my answer, I would like to take the name of a professor of Harvard, okay, Arthur Brooks. You can see in the Google. And Arthur Brooks, he says that it is not the money spent on you gives you happiness, but the money is spent on others gives you happiness, real happiness, authentic happiness. So Manisha, if you are spending money and you're not spending on yourself, rather you are spending on those who are needy, other people, let me assure you, you will never have shortage of money. Money will keep flowing. Okay? At the moment we think that I can determine my destiny, we are having a false notion. Okay, Corona has given a great lesson that all the property, assets, gadgets that you have gathered, you have left and gone forever. So this conception that I can secure myself. Let me tell you about myself. One day I was thinking, today I'm getting per month salary 3.5 lakhs. Okay. Now I was thinking that I must save. Today I don't have dearth of finance. Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Okay. Now, but one day I was thinking that today, if I have some disease, like cancer, etc., this 3.5 lakh will also be so small that I will have to beg, for my survival. This is the reality. कितना सिक्योरिटी आप करेंगे अपने आप को? ये सिर्फ गॉड ग्रेस है कि मुझे कोई उस तरह की बीमारी नहीं हुई है. अभी कोरोना में लाखों लाख लोगों का लग गया, फिर भी बचा नहीं पाए. तो ये मेरी गलतफहमी होगी कि बचपन से बचा करके इतना रख लो, कितना भी रख लो कम पड़ेगा भाई, अगर ऊपर वाला मेहरबान नहीं है तो. हमें तो ऊपर वाले को की मेहरबानी देखनी है, और जो हमारे पास पैसा है वो भाई थोड़ा सा दूसरों पे खर्च करें. तो उसको कहते हैं, हिंदी में हम लोग कहते हैं पैसे में बरकत होता है. एंड यू कैन ट्राई योरसेल्फ. I openly make this announcement that any one of you can try. कि अगर आप खर्च करोगे तो पैसा आएगा, रोके रखोगे पैसा रुक जाएगा.
हाँ सर, ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है सर, मैंने भी बहुत बार किया है और मैं करती रहती हूँ सर. सर थैंक यू सो मच सर. थैंक
you, ma'am. Anyone else who would like to share something? Okay.
सर मैं कुछ कहना चाहूंगी.
Oh, sure.
सर इसका मतलब ये है कि जो ये बात कही जाती है कि जो धन संपत्ति है वो साधन है, साधे नहीं है. मतलब सब कुछ नहीं हम इसे कह सकते. तो जो ये जो वैल्यूज जो हम थ्रू हैप्पीनेस कोर्स हम पढ़ रहे हैं, ये ही एक तरह से हमारे लिए एक एक्चुअल धन है जिसे हमें अपने जीवन के लिए संजो के रखना चाहिए. और शायद जब हम इन चीजों को अपनी लाइफ में बिल्कुल अपना लेंगे तो वो जो हमें जो मिलना है, जिसको कहते हैं ना अमूल्य धन, तो वो शायद उस समय हमें वो धन मिल पाएगा जिसके लिए हमें ना सोचना पड़ेगा, और जिसके लिए हम ऊपर वाले के लिए जो एक सुप्रीम पावर है उसकी हर एक चीज को समझ पाएंगे और उसके हर एक लम्हे को जी पाएंगे, मजा ले पाएंगे. तो सर मेरे मन में ये विचार आया तो आपसे शेयर किया सर.
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. वेल, आई वेलकम दिस क्वेश्चन आल्सो. देखो ऐसा है कि कुछ बातें जो बहुत एक्सपीरियंस, बहुत नॉलेज के बाद कही जाती हैं, उसका कुछ महत्व होता है. सिर्फ अनुसंधान आइंस्टाइन ने नहीं किया, सिर्फ साइंटिफिक अनुसंधान नहीं होता है, सोशल साइंस में भी अनुसंधान होता है जिसको हम लोग नजरअंदाज करते हैं. महात्मा गांधी ने अनुसंधान किया, एक डिस्कवरी, एक ग्रेट डिस्कवरी. क्या डिस्कवरी किया? He said that nature has given enough for our need, but not for our greed. कितनी बड़ी बात है ये, किसी न्यूक्लियर बम से कम नहीं है, लेकिन हम इसको नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं. एंड आउट ऑफ ह्यूज एक्सपीरियंस, ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने 2 दिन में ऐसे कह दिया. मैं कहूँ तो बात समझ में आती है, मुझे उतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, मुझे उतना ज्ञान नहीं है, लेकिन एक महात्मा गांधी के टाइप का आदमी अगर इस कुछ बातों को कहता है तो उस पर हमें विचार करना चाहिए. That will give all the solution. इसलिए सुजाता जी, अगर आप नीड पर कायम रखोगे तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, रोटी पानी ये सब मिलता रहेगा आपको, एक गरीब से गरीब आदमी को भी मिल जाता है। लेकिन अगर हम 10 बंगले और 10 कार, नए कार के ऊपर अगर हम ध्यान देंगे, ऑफ कोर्स विल हैव प्रॉब्लम्स इन लाइफ। जितना भी बचत कर लें, ये सारा पूरा नहीं कर पाएंगे। एवरी थर्ड पर्सन हैज 3 बंगलो। आप क्या करेंगे आप पूरी जिंदगी में? एवरी थर्ड पर्सन आप देख लो, अड़ोस पड़ोस कहीं पर 3, किसी को 3 है, किसी को 4 है, किसी को 5 है। क्या मैं बंगलो बनाने में लग जाऊं? मैं भी 3 लगा लूंगा, कौन सा? व्हाट अ बिग डील, नॉट एट ऑल। दिस इज द पर्पस ऑफ स्कूल ऑफ हैप्पीनेस, कि आपका पर्सपेक्टिव थोड़ा दुरुस्त हो, एश्योर्ड हो।
जी सर, धन्यवाद सर।
Thank you, ma'am. Your feedback is like the very valuable thing for us. Okay, so thank you all the participants, and thank you, sir, for your kind words and enlightening us. Thank you, everyone. With that, I end the meeting for all. Thank you, everyone.